If you are a B2B marketer and you currently rely on organic search traffic to acquire leads and new customers, then this is for you. I wanted to talk to you about building a resilient B2B SEO strategy, how to do it, and also why we need to do this. As you probably know, things are changing with AI. It's disrupting our industry. Google and Microsoft are incorporating AI into their search, and we don't yet know what all this is going to mean. But we do know that we need to be paying attention very carefully and making sure that any SEO work that we're doing actually makes sense in light of all these changes. Let's start with technical SEO. We do want to make sure we've got a few bases covered, and we're really going after the areas of technical SEO that have the most overlap with positive user experience on your site, with accessibility, and with overall site performance, right? So as kind of an obvious example, if your site speed is incredibly slow and it's just taking ages for your site to load, this is a massive problem for your business and for your website. It's a problem from an SEO perspective, but it's also a problem from, every other perspective of your website. So that's obviously an area you would want to fix. But things like, let's say 301 redirects, 404 errors, these are things that we think a lot about as technical SEOs, but they're also just good user experience practices to make sure that people are being directed to the right pages. They're not just encountering errors, but we're always trying to think about how to send them to the best content and best information for them. So that is what I would advise for technical SEO. If we're thinking about content specifically, which is my favorite area as a content marketer, sometimes I hear clients say something like, well, that content is just for SEO, and meaning it doesn't have to be that good. And that's really the wrong way to be thinking about this, especially in light of all these changes. We always want to be creating content, not like for SEO or for LinkedIn, but really for prospects and clients. And then we optimize it for the particular platform that we're using it for. So for SEO content that we want people to find organically, we want to use SEO principles to maybe ideate some content ideas using keywords and things like that, but then optimizing them for that specific medium. So the reason that I think this is such a good strategy for a resilient brand is because this way you're creating assets. You're creating assets that are elevating your brand. They're actually helping people, and no one can really take that away from you. No matter what happens with search, you're going to be able to repurpose those assets in all different kinds of ways, meaning it wasn't a waste of time to create them. It wasn't a waste of resources. The last area to talk about is link building. Now, this is kind of a controversial area, and from like an ethical and moral perspective, I don't think there's anything like ethically wrong with buying links to your website if they're from, a real website. The problem with this strategy is that it's hard to get really quality links this way, and it's just not really the best long-term strategy. What we do want to do is create meaningful links back to our site from reputable, authoritative brands. And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is by doing things like PR, just getting your brand name out there and creating linkable content assets. So this might be original research that a bunch of journalists are going to cite, and they're going to be linking back to your website. So this way, these are kind of assets that you're creating for your brand that will last a long time and that will actually elevate your brand and direct people to your site, which is really valuable for you. Those are my initial thoughts. There is a full piece on this. You can find it in the comments if we're on LinkedIn, or in the description if we're on YouTube. So best of luck, and let me know if you have more questions about this.